Hello everyone. In today's class, I am going to teach about deadlock in OS. So, what is a deadlock? Suppose here a narrow street is there. Suppose like this, like a narrow street is there, and the condition is one person can pass that street at one time. Only one person can pass. Okay. So, if there is a person is coming from this side P1 and another person coming from another side, another person coming from this side P2. Fine. Condition is, we have the condition that in that street only one person can pass at one time. Okay. So, two person are there coming from opposite direction. P1 is one person that is coming from one side and P2 is one person that is coming from another side. So, what will happen? They cannot pass the street. They waiting for one another. P1 is waiting for this street to be free, and P2 is also waiting for this street to be free. P1 is waiting for this street to be free for the another person, another waiting person, and P2 is also waiting for another waiting person. And neither P1 is past the street nor P2 is past the street, because they are just waiting. P1, P2 both are waiting. So, in this case, just assume that these two persons P1 and P2 are processes, and this street that I am talking about is the resources, because this is the process, P1 is process, and this street is resources. Fine. So, both processes are waiting for one another waiting process. Therefore, the resources is blocked. For this waiting processes, the resources is blocked. Now, what will happen? P1 and P2, we don't know how many times this two person will be waiting. Okay, how many times they are waiting for? They will be waiting for indefinite amount of time, infinite amount of time, because one person is waiting for another waiting processes. Okay, so they cannot, neither it will pass the street nor P2 is pass the street. So resources, खुद resources ही block में आ गए. Okay, resources is blocked itself. Fine. So in this case, we can say there is a deadlock. Okay, deadlock means the process, there is no progress. The P1, neither P1 is progress, neither P2 is progress, because they are just waiting for one another. So that's why comes to the operating system concept. So in operating system, first point is waiting for something for infinite time, in which there is no progress. See, this word is very important, no progress for waiting process. There, just look at this example, P1, P2, for P1 there is no progress, for P2 there is no progress. We don't know how many time, how many infinite amount of time they will be waiting. See, starvation, in starvation case also, we know that in starvation case processes are also waiting. Okay, but deadlock and starvation both are different things. Okay, starvation is for some higher priority processes, the lower priority processes are suffering. In case of priority, CPU is allocated to the higher priority process. The higher priority processes are executing and go to the terminate state, and more processes are coming and coming. Okay, and there are just higher priority process. Because of that higher priority processes, lower priority processes are just in waiting state. They are just waiting. But we cannot say that there is a deadlock, because CPU is itself in a progress. More than also, although we know that lower priority processes, here are the lower priority processes are in waiting state, there is no deadlock, we cannot say this is the deadlock, this is the starvation case. In starvation, priority, in case of priority, higher priority processes are executing and executing, and the CPU is not in block state, CPU is in progress, and also there is a time and the turn of lower priority process in which lower priority process assigned to the CPU one time and executing. After the executions, after the completion of the higher priority processes, the turn of lower priority processes to be done. Okay, now the turn is to lower priority process is assigned to the CPU and executing simply and terminate. Here progress is there. Okay, but in deadlock we just say there is no progress. In deadlock, CPU itself is blocked. CPU resources, here look at this example, here resources, this street is blocked. Both the portions, neither it can progress, neither P2 is progress. They are just waiting for one another waiting processes. So in deadlock case there is no progress, but in starvation case there will be progress. There will be the lower priority process may be assigned to the CPU, maybe for after so many long time, but it have to assign to the CPU because there is progress, right? CPU is not in blocked, but in deadlock there is no progress. Fine. So so starvation and deadlock is different. But in both case processes are in waiting state, but in starvation case the lower priority case is there, okay, progress is there, but deadlock CPU is in blocked state, processes are waiting for one another, okay, they are in waiting state for long, for infinite, or you can say indefinite amount of time. And second case is, first case is waiting for something for infinite time and in which there is no progress for waiting process, and second we can say process waits for one another's action indefinitely. P1 is waiting for P2 actions, P2 is waiting for P1 actions, and they are just waiting for indefinitely. Fine, that is the deadlock state. Okay. So in which condition, in which environment deadlock will arise? How we can come to know that there is a deadlock in your system, when it will occur? So in multi-programming environment, we know that just I have taken that strict examples. Okay, so that strict was resources and two-person P1, P2 are just processes. To come to the operating system environment, in operating system there is several processes are there and multiple processes, thousands, lakhs of processes are there, and we have finite number of resources. We know what are resources? Resources as in our CPU, IO devices, or some memory unit, there are some resources, and we know that our resources is finite amount of resources and processes are more than resources. There are several types of processes and a finite amount of resources. If some processes request some resources, we know if that resources is available, then fine, that resources assigned to this process. But if that resources is not available, then we have to know that what will happen the next. Obviously process go to the waiting state for acquiring that resources. Fine. There is several processes which are requesting the resources in every fractions of seconds, okay, but we have finite amount of resources, and if we have finite amount of resources and several processes, there be a chance of deadlock. How? Just see, in multi-programming environment, we know in previous lectures I have already told you the types of operating system. There are multitasking operating system, multi-programming, and in that lecture I have already told you the multi-programming types of operating system. Multiple programs are there. So in multi-programming environment, we know that we have several processes, and also we have finite amount of resources are there, which is finite amount of resources. Our CPU, our memory device, our input output devices are finite. but processes are there. And in that cases, suppose among the several process, one process is there, P1, which is requesting one resources, okay, which is requesting, here is a resources, we have a resources, and we have several processes. Among that processes, one process is requesting one resources. Then in this case, what will happen if that resources is available, is free, then we can say immediately that resources is assigned to this process. The resources acquired, this process can immediately assign to this resources. Okay, this is the simple case. If for some reason if the resources is not available, then what will happen? There is many reasons by which a resources cannot be available, like maybe that resource is assigned to another process, maybe this resource is holding another process which are in waiting state for that reason. So in this case, P1 is go to the waiting state, right? We know that state transition diagram, there is a waiting state is there. If in executing, in the time of execution, if processes is request some IO operations, if any resources, then it will go to the waiting state. Why it will go to the waiting state? Because that requesting resource is not available immediately, so that it will go to the waiting state. Why? For acquiring this resources, fine, it is requesting this resources, but resources is holding to another process, because suppose this this resources is holding by another process P2, fine, and this P2 is holding the resources, and if P2 is completes its IO operation, its work in this resources, then it just leave this resources and resources is available, and immediately it will acquire the P1. P1 is leave this waiting state and assign to the resources. After completing its IO operation, it will go to the execution state, and after execution it will terminate it. That is the state transition diagram, fine. But in this case, if P2 is holding this resources and P2 is waiting for another resources, this condition is possible, okay. P2 is holding this resources and it is a waiting process, waiting for another resources, and that resources is holding by another waiting process, and that processor's waiting process is holding by another resources which is holding by another waiting process P4, something like this. And this is the condition where P1, the process, this is the deadlock condition, and in this situation P1C, there is one resources which have to be released, but P1 is in waiting state for the resources which is holding by another waiting processes, and this is holding the resources which is holding by another waiting processor and another waiting processes. So there is a circle, fine. In this case, we can say this starting process P1, we are talking about the starting process P1, maybe all the time, maybe its lifetime, it can't be changed its state, maybe lifetime it may be in waiting state, it cannot change its state. So in operating system, we can say when the process cannot change its state or cannot leave the state where it will go, then you can say that there may be a deadlock situation is occur, fine, on the lifetime. But starvation cases, P1 is in waiting state, and after some time or some long time, many more long time, it will just anyhow it will leave the waiting state and go to the acquire the resources in starvation cases, because there are many more higher priority processes are there which are holding that resources, okay, at one time. One processes are holding the resources at one time. By holding the resources, it cannot request to another resources. In this case, P2 at a finite amount of time, the work of P2 will be done and P2 leaves the resources, and if the resources is available, and automatically it will acquire the P1, it will solve the requesting of the P1, and P1 is leave the waiting state. Fine. So in deadlock case, all the processes are in block and resources is no progress. There is no progress. I have taken that strict example. There is no progress. Both are in waiting state. Both are waiting for one another action. So P1 is waiting for P2 action, P2 is waiting for P3 action, P3 is waiting for P4 action, P4 is waiting for again another process who are in waiting state, and this processes are in waiting state and they cannot change its state. So that is the case of deadlock. Fine. But this condition, this is the necessary condition. But I cannot say that this is the sufficient condition. This is the necessary condition by which the deadlock may occur in the system. Okay, this is the necessary condition. So 4 necessary conditions are there. Okay, first condition is mutual exclusion. Second one is hold and wait. Third one is no preemption. And last one is circular wait. So this, if in your system this 4 necessary condition is happening, then there must be deadlock will be arise. This is the necessary condition, not sufficient. In this 4 condition, if one is not there, then there will be not deadlock is happening. Okay, deadlock will be not occur in your system. If in 4 condition, if all the 4 condition are there, then deadlock will be occur. If one condition is not there, if hold and wait is not there and 3 are there in your system, if circular wait is not there and 3 condition is there, then there will be no deadlock. Okay, 4 condition have to be there to occur the deadlock, and this is the necessary conditions. I'll say in the next class what are the sufficient condition. Okay, so first is mutual exclusion. What is mutual exclusion? I have taken that strict examples where that strict is one person can pass the street at one time. So mutual exclusion, in mutual exclusion, one process can request a resources at one time. Okay, no more than one processes are requesting one process at a time. Maybe there are 5 processes, P1, P2, P3, P4. Okay, 5 processes like P1 to P5, and one CPU is there. Then all of the 5 processes cannot request the CPU at one time. Only one process can request the CPU at one time. If 5 processes are requesting CPU, then obviously there will be a starvation. There will be a waiting state. Maybe all processes cannot acquire the CPU at one time, and maybe in 4 cases, among them 2 or 3 processes go to the waiting state obviously. So mutual exclusion means one process can request resources at one time, no more than one processes, one processes hold or request the resource. Fine. Next is hold and wait. This very much important. Hold and wait means, just a few minutes ago I have drawn a diagram where the one process is requesting and resources which is held by another waiting processes. So one process hold the resources and requesting another resources. So if this cases arise, deadlock may be occur. One process either hold or wait. If a process is holding one resources, then that process cannot waiting or requesting for another resources. Or if a process is requesting for one resources, then it can't be holding one resources. If suppose P1 is one process, there is just one resources is there and one process is there, and there is two resources suppose is there and one process. If P1 is requesting R1, then it can't be hold this R2 at a time, and if P1 is holding this R1, then P1 cannot requesting to the R2. Fine. That is the hold and wait. Either it can be holding or waiting. Okay, waiting means requesting. Fine. So in hold and wait condition, we can say a process either hold the resources or request for a resources. Not at a time. It cannot hold and wait, it cannot both. It can't both hold and wait at a time. Fine. And last one is circular wait. Circular wait means there is a circle among the processes. Obviously they just requesting a resources in a circular mode. The request is start from one point and it will go end from one point. Because circular wait means P1 is one processes is there, and this requesting for resources. Okay, it request for a resources which is holding by another waiting process. Suppose P1 is waiting for P2 to be free the resources. P2 is holding some resources which is requested by this P1. Obviously P1 is waiting for the P2 actions to be free the resources, and if P2 is free the resources automatically free for and available to the P1. And but P2 can't leave the resources because P2 is holding that resources and it is requesting another resources which is holding by another process P3, and P3 is holding that resource and requesting for another resources which is holding by P4. Maybe P4 is holding one resources, but P4 is can't release its resources because P4 is requesting. P4 is itself in waiting state because it will requesting another resources. That resources is holding by P1. So P1 is waiting for P2, P2 is waiting for P3, P3 is waiting for P4, P4 itself waiting for again P1. So there is a circle in this diagram, and these processes can't leave its state because they are waiting one another actions who are are in also waiting state. They cannot leave the state. There is a block, there is a circular request, circular waiting. Okay. So in this case, deadlock will arise. Fine. Last one is no preemption. No preemption. This is the circular wait, hold and wait, mutual exclusion, and last one is no preemption. What is preemption? The process, the resources forcefully removed from the processes. If a processes is, we forcefully remove the processes assigned to the resources, or forcefully remove the processes from the resources, then that is a preemption. I have already told you what is preemption and non-preemption cases. But in deadlock situation, there is no preemption all the time. Its lifetime there will be no preemption. Fine. Also we have discussed first come first serve algorithm, also in HCFS types of algorithm, SDEP types of algorithm, there also no preemption. In no preemption, there may be a starvation cases. Fine. Maybe starvation cases, or maybe convoy effect. We know the convoy effect or starvation, maybe processes are waiting in long amount of time. But in deadlock cases, there will be no preemption all the time, there will be no progress. Fine. In no preemption cases, the process who are in waiting state, we cannot preempt the P1 forcefully, as they are waiting for one another process. They are in circular wait. Fine. So these are the 4 conditions, necessary condition. I cannot say these are the sufficient condition. Okay. These are the necessary condition. If arise in your system, you can say your system is in deadlock state. Okay. So these are the introduction of deadlock. So we know that deadlock means no progress in the CPU, in your resources, in your system. There is no progresses. Starvation case is not there. Starvation is very different from deadlock. So in deadlock, CPU itself is in block state. All processes are in waiting state lifetime. Okay. In the next class, I will draw the resource allocation graph by which you will be more clear about the deadlock. Draw that deadlock graph by pictorial view. Okay, that is called resource allocation graph. So that's it in this class, all about this deadlock. So see you in the next video. Thank you.